It was a Thursday, just another typical day in my life. My name is John, by the way, a bank manager at Mid-City National. My wife, Emily, was the picturesque housewife, all pearls and perfect hair. I would leave for work each morning with a kiss on the cheek and return home to a hot meal. Hey, Em, you won't believe what happened today. I'd start recounting my day, but Emily, she never had much to say about her day. Oh, just the usual, darling. She'd reply, a secretive smile playing on her lips. We were living in our cozy, predictable bubble until her late-night outings and late-night calls started to throw me off. Was my wife leading a double life? Hey, that kinda rhymed. Weird. Emily's secret behavior started gnawing at me. Her frequent outings, incessant phone buzzes, they all added up to a mystery I was itching to solve. Your book club ladies must really love their literature to meet this often at night, huh? I tried to joke one night. Emily's laugh was a bit too sharp as she said, Oh, John, men will never understand the allure of a good romance novel. A day later, a plain brown package arrived for Emily. Expecting something? I asked, attempting to sound casual. No, must be a mistake, Emily said, too quickly snatching the package and disappearing upstairs. The plot, it seemed, was thickening. Then it happened. Emily had forgotten her phone at home. As it buzzed, the screen flashed a message. Boss, the deal set for tonight. What boss? My heart pounded as I read those words. Who was boss? What deal? That night I decided to confront Emily. Em, we need to talk. Her eyes narrowed, the smile fading from her lips. Oh, is this about the late-night book club meetings again, John? She asked, a hint of annoyance in her voice. No, Emily, it's about you. The strange phone calls, the messages, the packages. Who's boss? I questioned, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. Emily blinked, her green eyes wide in surprise. And then the dam burst. Okay, you got me. Boss, he's the leader of the city's underground, she confessed, her voice trembling. I've been working with him, John. All those late-night meetings, the phone calls, the packages, it was all for the operations. I don't understand. Why? I stuttered, my mind struggling to comprehend what I was hearing. My wife, my Emily, involved in the city's underworld? She took a deep breath. It was for us, John. For our future. Emily, I was happy. I was happy with our life. Well, I guess we wanted different things then. That was the moment our paths diverged. I, John, the mundane banker, was now John, the man who was cheated on by his wife Emily, the thrill-seeking criminal. Fine, I said, mustering every bit of courage I had. If you're hell-bent on ruining our lives, I won't stand by and watch. I'll take this information to the police. Oh, you're going to the police? With what proof, John? Who do you think they're going to believe? The respectable banker's wife or the underachieving husband? She taunted. Just watch me, I replied, my voice laced with determination. As much as Emily taunts stung, she was right about one thing. I had no evidence. So I went to the only person who might believe me, my old college roommate, Tim, who had since become a police detective. Emily, involved with the mafia? You've got to be kidding, John, he scoffed. But I stood my ground. I'm not Tim. You've got to believe me. Despite his skepticism, Tim agreed to help. All right, let's say I believe you. We can't just barge in there, John. We need hard evidence. So I began my life as an unwilling spy, gathering evidence against my own wife. Every day was a cat and mouse game. I had to outsmart Emily without letting her suspect what I was up to. One day, while Emily was out on one of her errands, I stumbled upon her secret stash. Ledgers, documents, all kinds of incriminating evidence. Jackpot. I think we have enough evidence now, Tim whispered during one of our covert meetings. I felt a pang of guilt, but also a sense of relief. This nightmare was finally coming to an end. Or so I thought. One day, while I was at the bank, I got a call from her. John, she said, her voice shaky. The boss knows. He knows everything. He's coming for us. The bottom fell out of my world. How did he find out? Was Emily okay? I rushed home, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios. But what I found was worse than I could have far imagined. My once peaceful home was now the epicenter of the city's underworld, with me as its reluctant ruler. The twist? My rule was enforced not by power or fear, but by the threats to my wife's life. Welcome to the throne, John. Your banking skills are gonna come in handy. Then came the ultimatum that sent shivers down my spine. Don't even think about going to the police. If you do, Emily gets it. The boss started to use my skills to launder money, my financial knowledge manipulated for his dark deeds. Every phone call with him was a tightrope walk between maintaining my feigned loyalty and concealing my panic. All systems go, boss. I'd reassure him, my voice as steady as I could manage. Then I met Vinny, the boss's right-hand man, who was as deep in the criminal underworld as anyone could be. He just tells me one night, "I just wanted some extra cash, John. I didn't want to be a part of this nightmare." Vinny's delusionment ignited a spark of hope. Together, we started crafting a way out, a labyrinth plan to dismantle the boss's empire from within. But the boss, sharp as a serpent, was growing suspicious. "Don't let me down, John, or you'll regret it," he threatened ominously. I had to keep the Moss boss thinking I was loyal, all while secretly planning to topple him from his throne. My heart pounded like a drum every time I took a call from him. "So, John, how's business?" he'd ask, his voice all gravelly and menacing. "Good, everything's under control." I'd lie smoothly, trying to keep my voice steady. On the other side of my dual life, I had Emily. God, Emily, once the love of my life, now a source of betrayal and confusion. Our conversations were a delicate dance around the truth. "I didn't know, John," she would insist. "I never wanted this. I am sorry for the pain I caused you. I love you." "I know, Em. I'll fix this. I promise," I would reassure her, my heart aching. The boss was growing suspicious. I could feel it in his voice, see it in his eyes. "You're starting to disappoint me, John," he growled. The threat was unspoken but clear. I was on thin ice, and the waters beneath were freezing. The days that followed were a whirlwind. Vinny and I were making our moves, trying to outwit the boss. Our conversations were like a chess game. Knight to E5, I would say. "Wait a minute, isn't that from Harry Potter?" "Check," Vinny would reply. It was our code, a way to plan without alerting anyone. The turning point came unexpectedly. Emily, under pressure and terrified, inadvertently tipped the boss off during an intercepted phone call. She said something that, under normal circumstances, wouldn't mean much, but the boss was not a man to let any detail slide. Then everything escalated quickly. The boss got wind of our plot. "Traitors!" he roared, his voice echoing in my ears. "This ends now," I told him, standing my ground. There was a tense silence, a calm before the storm. Then the boss laughed, a chilling sound that made my blood run cold. "You think so? This is just the beginning." His wrath was swift and brutal. Emily was taken hostage, and my world crumbled around me. The mafia boss's hideout was an ostentatious testament to his ill-gotten wealth. It was as if the Godfather's estate had a decadent rendezvous with Scarface's mansion. But the opulence of the surroundings did nothing to alleviate the looming dread. I had a mission to accomplish. Upon entering the grand hall, I called out, "Emily!" The echo of her name reverberated ominously through the ornate chambers. The boss made his appearance, smirking like a predator closing in on its prey. "John, you got more guts than I expected." "Where is she?" I demanded, ignoring his taunts. I felt like Batman. "I'm Batman." He gestured nonchalantly towards a door, relishing in the moment. "She's in there, but I wouldn't be so eager, John. This isn't gonna be easy." Our ensuing battle was a far cry from the slick, choreographed fights in James Bond's movies. It was raw, fueled by desperation and fury. His punches were heavy, his moves were lethal, but I fought back with everything I had. Then, out of nowhere, I felt a surge of power. "I've had enough of this drama!" I screamed, managing to land a punch on his smug face. It was like a scene out of a movie, but the danger was real, the stakes were high, and what felt like an eternity, I managed to subdue him. While Vinny dealt with his goons, it was an unlikely victory. The boss laid defeat, and I was the last man standing. I rushed to the door he had indicated earlier, praying that Emily was okay. I found her tied up but alive. "John!" she gasped, her eyes brimming with relief. I untied her, pulling her into a hug. "We need to get out of here," I murmured into her ear. We had survived the boss's reign of terror, but we were still far from safe. As we stepped out into the breaking dawn, I couldn't help but reflect on the insanity of the situation. From a banker to a reluctant mobster to a hero, my life had turned into an epic tale of love and survival. As I held Emily close, I made a promise. "No more secrets, Em. We're leaving this behind." Emily turned to me, her eyes reflecting the sunrise. "John, we can't go back to our old lives. Not after this. He will find us." "You're right, Em. So what do we do?" Emily took a deep breath, her hand reaching out to find mine. We start over. New names, new lives. We deserve a chance at peace. We joined the Witness Protection Program, a chance to leave our old lives behind. On the day we moved to our new home, Emily, now Sarah, turned to me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I took her hand, the weight of our past in the grasp. We survived, Sarah. Now we have the chance to live. Our old lives became an echo, a past whispered in our new quiet existence. One day, Sarah turned to me, a nostalgic smile on her face. Remember when we were Emily and John, living on the edge, never knowing what the next day would bring? I laughed, the sound filling our small bookstore. Yes, I remember. And I also remember promising no more secrets, no more living on the edge. This is our happily ever after, Sarah. We'd escaped the clutches of our past, embracing the calm of our present. We had become the heroes of our own story, choosing love over fear, hope over despair. As Mike and Sarah, we found our peace, a simple life filled with shared laughter and stolen kisses.